A whistleblower complaint accuses leaders in the Knoxville Police Department of failing to take quick action to stop what the complaint calls inappropriate behavior by a veteran officer. 10 News has obtained that formal complaint, now part of an internal affairs investigation. Knoxville Police Department is confirming the sergeant at the center of the investigation retired just days after the whistleblower filed the complaint.
Cole Sullivan has been working on this 10 Investigates report for several weeks now and joins us with what's in the complaint and a warning for parents. This story addresses some explicit language. Cole?
John and Heather, this complaint covers a lot of ground. One of the issues referred to includes, quote, sexually explicit and derogatory things about women and homosexuals, allegedly said by a sergeant during roll call. And there is video from one of these meetings. We can't show much of it on television because of how crude the language is, but the complaint says KPD leaders described the man in the video as the best sergeant on the force. Days later, he left the force, but other questions remain.
This 52-second video obtained by 10 News is a roll call meeting at the beginning of a KPD shift. The quality is low and the audio can be hard to hear, but a complaint filed to Internal Affairs says it was recurring behavior by now former KPD Sergeant Bobby Maxwell, seen drawing these stick figures on the whiteboard.
You got your hands up. Is that a baby she's holding?
The sergeant is telling officers in graphic terms about forms of violent oral sex. He goes on mentioning other sex acts before describing how to choke a woman during oral sex. Sergeant Maxwell's actions during roll call meetings are referred to several times in this complaint. It was filed on June 21st by KPD Lieutenant Travis Brassfield. Going up the chain of command, the complaint claims Captain Anthony Willis and Deputy Chief Kenny Miller, quote, conspired to conceal facts related to discriminatory conduct having to do with Maxwell. It says that Chief Miller and Captain Willis showed Lieutenant Brassfield a letter that contained complaints about Sergeant Maxwell's, quote, sexually explicit and derogatory language during roll call. That allegedly happened with Captain Willis looking on. The complaint says Captain Willis described Sergeant Maxwell as the best sergeant bar none. It says Chief Miller told subordinates to not talk about the complaint letter, that this was not a problem and it would go no further, and that there is probably not a video.
Sounds magical.
In a statement to 10 News, KPD says there's an ongoing internal affairs investigation regarding the allegations, and the department is not going to comment until that investigation has concluded.
We reached out to Sergeant Maxwell directly, but did not hear back. We reviewed his personnel file today. He had a few reprimands since joining the force in 1994. The vast majority of his performance reviews were complimentary. In the formal complaint, Lieutenant Brassfield asks for Chief Miller and Captain Willis to be removed from their positions of command. The complaint makes other allegations about policy violations as well. We've requested more documents from KPD and will continue looking into the story. Again, KPD's Internal Affairs Unit is investigating, and Sergeant Maxwell has retired from the department effective July 1st.
Cole Sullivan, we appreciate the report. More to come.